Hey everyone, this is J-Dog and I'm here with another video. I am a proud black man. Not a person of color, not a minority. When you see me, you see a black individual, not a person of color. A lot of black people, especially ADOS, the American Descendants of Slaves, including myself, and mostly black people, are no longer trying to be involved with the term people of color, as we are separating from the rest of people of color and going to just being called black people, and hoping to do what's best for the black community, not people of color or minorities, because there's minorities or people of color who also hate black people. Not just racist whites, there's racist Hispanics, racist Asians, racist Arabs, and there's even racist minorities. There's even black people who hate black people. I will get into another video involving a show that was created by a Nigerian who despises ADOS. And now a lot of people want that show canceled. It's called Bob Hart's. I forgot the name of the show. I'll probably talk about it in another video. Give that a separate video, and I'll explain my critic site strategy, how it's being used to take down that show critically. That's another video. But let's talk about this. Why a lot of black people no longer want to be associated with the term people, color, or minority. It's just that there's too many, not just racist whites, but there's been too many people of color who also hate black people, especially black Americans. This is a tweet from Maxwell Little, said, "My read before bed, I will never use the term people of color or minorities again. It's all assured lineage, blindness, and racial containment. In addition, IMO, it's occasionally lazy to lump everyone in together as if all groups pay at the same cost like ADOS. He is exactly correct. Because there are people of color who don't suffer the way that black Americans have suffered since before chattel slavery. There have been Asians who have been racist towards black people, attacking black women at nail shops. Arabs attacking black people at gas stations. Hispanics firebombing black people. Here's this is an article. This article came out in September, but it's important. And then I'm going to talk about some other topics. But I might just read the article a little bit of it. But it's from Medium.com, and just why I stopped including blacks in with people of color. Marley K. So we're going to read the article on using the term black versus people of color. All right, hold on. It says there, before you fret, I know, not all people of color sigh. And then it says here the term black versus people of color. Oh, expect this to be a long video. Maybe one day I might do a live stream if I figure out how to do the live stream stuff. But for those who don't get to watch this video. But anyway, there has been a silent debate going on in the black community for years in our own homes, on social media, and quietly in black intellectual circles about the term people of color, POC, and how America loves to lump us together. Right? That is correct. The term POC dilutes black and brown cultures and disregards ethnic and national identity. For black people, there is something more sinister happening. We're being erased and our history forgotten. Use the term people of color to describe non-white people in America is racially assuring I won't engage in that practice anymore. We are not freaking crayon colors. I have struggled with using the term POC for a few years. This is from Marky K, I believe. For a variety of reasons. For one, in my personal and professional life, I don't see people of color coming into our communities to help black people, especially in the South. I see a lot of blacks and people of color striving to attain success in accordance to standards in America Anglo whiteness. I see the good and the harm in our aspirations, but many people of color are very different for a few key reasons. Most POCs only come to our community for one or two reasons: lucrative business opportunities, or they are poor and must live among us because they can't afford to live elsewhere. The relationship with blacks and people of color are complicated. Sorry about that. I was looking at something else. Read Constitutional Amendment, Civil Rights for Black Americans. Yes, people of color may come into black communities to set up business and profit from us like other American businesses, but people of color are not fully vested in our communities, nor do they see interest in combining forces to combat the same white supremacy that discriminates against us all. And let's not talk about the certain POCs not giving back to the communities that feed them. Exactly correct. You have Hispanics, Asians, and Arabs setting up shops, businesses, but that's only meant to get money for their communities, because Asian communities, they have their own Chinatowns. We just have like a neighborhood or a block. The Asians, they have a Chinatown. And that money that they make from their business contributes to places like that, or to their own families. But they're not putting that money back into the black community. No, they're not. That's why it's time for us as black people to start setting up shop businesses in our own neighborhoods. And stop letting these people just come in whenever they want. Instead, many people of color come to America to emulate, turning their backs on the very black people who made it possible for them to be here. What way to repay blacks who paved the way for them? That's exactly what has been happening. See, it was the civil rights. We were the ones who kicked off the civil rights, equality, and stuff like that, desegregation. Those were our fights. Those were meant to help black people out. The building of Wall Street was to help our business interests, only to have it destroyed. Black people actually helped the Union fight and help the Union fight against the Confederacy, so that the Union not only can win, but for the real reason why black people fought, because we just wanted to be free. But then we had to deal with Jim Crow, Reconstruction, redlining, and everything. It was we were the ones who was marching in the front lines of the civil rights, like I just mentioned. Alright? If it wasn't for us fighting for the civil rights, fighting for equality, fighting against white supremacy, then half these other groups, whether it be the Asian immigrants, Arab immigrants, Latino immigrants, or even Africans who did willingly come here, African and Caribbeans who did willingly come here, they would not been able to come here because a lot of the white supremacists, a lot of the white races, the white supremacists, they didn't want those groups to come in. They know they couldn't take us away because they stole our lineage, and most of us were born here, ADOS. So they can't send us back. They can't use ICE. They can't deport us. That's why they just kill us if they want to get rid of us, because they can't deport us. But they were able to deport those other groups, and it was us who was fighting to make sure that a lot of that didn't happen. Even though now they've still have laws to make it so they can be deported. But it was us who was fighting to make sure that it was easier for immigrants to come in here. And what happened when all the civil rights and stuff was so-called over and everything? We found out that some of these Asian, Hispanic groups did not like black people. They thought the same racist thought, especially the white Latinos and Hispanics, especially the white Hispanics and white Latinos, did not see themselves as one of our brethrens. They see themselves just like the white people, especially a lot of the white Cubans and stuff like that. The reason why they were leaving because Fidel Castro. Now, many people say it was because Fidel Castro was a dictator, but Fidel Castro was actually fighting for. He had some, power hungriness, bloodlust and power hungriness, but he was actually fighting for all Cubans, including the black ones. He favored the black communities, the black Cubans, or he was thinking, and he was rebellious against America. He didn't like the things that went on in America. He believed that America should not intervene. That's why a lot of those white Cubans were coming here, not because they wanted freedom, and then they set up shop. And then they disrespected all the dark-skinned Cubans that also came over here. They disrespected the Haitians that also came over here around the same time. Because, especially in that area in Florida. And, of course, they hated ADOS. See, they wanted to be like the white, non-Hispanic counterparts. They wanted to identify as white. Matter of fact, here's an article right here that said that, this is a different article. This is from the New York Times. More Hispanics declaring themselves as white. I'll get back. Hispanics are often described as driving up the non-white shares of the population, but new studies of census forms find that more Hispanics are identifying as white. See, they wanted to be like white non-Hispanics. I mean, because, there's also black Hispanics, brownish Hispanics. But even some of the brown Hispanics and even black Hispanics would not always get along with black Americans with ADOS, especially the Dominicans. Well, the Dominicans who hate black Americans. You got some of the Dominicans who are black or dark as us, but they can't stand their Haitian neighbors and they can't stand black Americans. ADOS. Now I'm going to leave from this article and back to this article later, but I will leave the links to Bart. I'm not really going to read much. This is talking about how we should fight our own battles. And rightfully so. The black community needs to focus on us. We need to fight for the black community. The black community needs to fight for the black community. We need to build our own businesses, and support our own businesses. Just by being there, and most importantly, financially. The money that we make needs to go towards the rest of the black community, towards our own businesses, and towards people who will fight for the black community. So yes, this is why a lot of black people are turning away from the black community. I mean, this is why you have a lot of black people turning away from people of color and are going with the term just black or black person. Yet, whenever we do decide to go within our own community, of course you have some of these immigrants that are saying, hey, you're being racist. Hey, we gotta stick together, man. We're black too, especially when we're fighting for our own causes and when we're not fighting the battles of other people. they all of a sudden want to come back running to us. You had Fat Joe. Fat Joe right here says, sometimes Latinos even identify themselves with African and black culture more than black people. Fat Joe thinks all Latinos are blacks. And he actually said this, I think, on the Breakfast Club or some show on podcast. Let's go back to this article. You see this article right here? This is from New York Times. The studies say that more Hispanics declare themselves as white. It says here, estimated 35 million Americans in 2000 identify in 2000 as Hispanic, Latino, or Spanish origins. As the census put together, it changed their race from some other race to white between 2000 and 2010 census. That means more Latinos, even some darker Latinos, identify with white. See, they want to click in with that whiteness. They thinking that the more they click in with the whiteness, the more they can get all the privileges and stuff, because identifying with black, unless of course they're trying to culture vulture and steal our culture and stuff like that, they don't want to associate with black people. Now you got Hispanics that will do hip hop music like Fat Joe or this moron right here. This moron right here, Tekashi 6ix9ine or Snitch 9, the one who is not black, but yet you had this guy repping Bloods. He's not even black, he's Hispanic. Then after he is accused of molesting a child, he goes and snitches on the Bloods and snitches on some black rappers or other rappers, snitches and stuff like that. And then in order to avoid prison time, and notice he only went after black people. He knows some white and Hispanic people who've done something, but he only snitched on black people. Like I said, not condoling and honoring what the people he snitched on did if they committed crimes. Not saying that they should have committed crimes. But notice he only snitched on black people, and then all of a sudden he's getting a $10 million worth of a record deal while he's still in prison waiting to get out. And I think the reason why Fat Joe came out, because I think he was defending Tekashi Snitch 9, to soften the blow, because a lot of black people are now starting to wake up to the point that we don't have allies, we don't have friends. So what else do I want to talk about? Yeah, this idiot right here. This woman right here goes by the name of Gina Rodriguez. Now, those of you who don't know who Gina Rodriguez is, she is an actress. She did several shows, films, most famously a show called Jane the Virgin. That's like really her only, and she started a couple other films and television shows or as supporting characters, but she's mostly known for Jane the Virgin. She ended up rapping a song on social media, even using the freaking N-word. Y'all could. She couldn't even skip over that word. She knows that the N-word is bad. Now, yes, a lot of black people should stop using the N-word, especially because of incidents like this. That's why I don't say the N-word. And then you got some people defending her, saying, well, it's in the song. No, you can listen to the edited version, and no, it does not excuse you from using the N-word. You know what that word means. And then she makes some freaking fake apologies. You got people like J-Lo, who's another culture vulture. Matter of fact, I was looking. Let's see if I could find it. Yeah, right here. Now this is another picture of Gina Rodriguez, but you also have J-Lo, who benefited from shout out to Don Samuel, benefited from black culture, and benefited from black directors, the Wayans, she was in black music videos, she was in songs with P. Diddy, had a relationship with P. Diddy. If it wasn't for those individuals, she wouldn't be as relevant. She would just only be known as that fly girl on In Living Color, another production created by black people, watched and viewed by black people. Then she got picked to highlight tribute to Motown, even though that should have been more towards black artists, but you had that freaking sellout, Smokey Robinson, try to defend J-Lo. And what does she do? What is she doing now? She is performing in the Super Bowl. Why do I find this an insult? Because if she's doing all this stuff that involves black culture, then she has to know some of the struggles that black people had to go through, like police brutality, or the fact that Colin Kaepernick was kneeling in protest against police brutality. And that some people are boycotting the NFL and boycotting the Super Bowl and telling artists not to perform at the Super Bowl because the NFL is a racist organization. And yet, J-Lo, thanks to sellout Jay-Z, but I call him now Gay-Z, decides to perform anyway, along with that non-relevant Shakira. And Gina Rodriguez, she's just sorry. And this ain't the first time. She's been caught with a lot of incidents involving with race against black people. And then you had this individual right here. Do y'all remember this guy? This is Sean Stockman, one of the singers of Boys to Men. And this idiot is buck dancing, defending Gina Rodriguez. And there's an article here. I don't trust the Greedo a lot, but this article right here is to talk about, he's saying that he's defending Gina Rodriguez and insisting that all Latinos are black. Alright, once again, let's go to this article right here. More Hispanics declaring themselves white. Then, of course, you had the incident with the fire bombs in California and Hispanics trying to kick a lot of black people out of California. That's why a lot of people say black people are done in California. And then, let's talk about what happened just recently. Hold on. This woman right here is the Hispanics civil rights investigator. She was fired after telling a black bartender she planned on getting KKK to murder him. Here's a news report.
And she told the bartender to remove her third beer. The bartender says Acosta became verbally abusive when he did that, saying to her friend that this is why she, quote, hated black people and, quote, hated representing them. The bartender then told Acosta and her friend they were...
Did you hear that? Because of over some freaking beer, she started yelling, saying that she hated black people. Let's right here. This again.
Her friend that this is why she, quote, hated black people and, quote, hated representing them. The bartender then told Acosta and her friend they were causing a scene and would have to leave. He told city investigators she then said he would, quote, never be more than a black piece of expletive bartender. The bartender repeatedly asked Acosta to leave, and she then said, quote, I hate black people. I really do. Black people are the low.
This is Julia Costas. I mean, no wait, this is, you know what? No, this is something else. Oh yeah, Julia Costi. Yeah, this is the individual right here. Now let's continue on with this video.
Lowlifes of society, and it's for that reason she doesn't have to listen to a black piece of expletive like me. The bartender says Acosta continued shouting and cussing as the manager escorted her off the patio. He said he didn't hear racial slurs, but heard Acosta loudly say, quote, she hated black people. Another server told the city she heard that comment and also heard Acosta say, quote, the KKK will be calling on you. Manager.
And and here's the ironic part. The KKK will also kill her too, because they don't like Hispanics either. Okay? The KKK is all non-Hispanic, white, all Christian society. They would kill her too, if they found out she was Hispanic. But yet, she wants to go around saying that the KKK is wanting to get the KKK to kill a black bartender. So now let's go back to this other article and why this person wrote that he will stop including blacks with people of color. Shout out to this Marvin K. I will leave some of the links to some of the things I just showed you in the description box and comment section. But yeah, I know this is a long video. This is a very long video, but this needs to be said. Maybe I might do a live stream version of this in the future. I'm not sure. But this is why a lot of black people are walking away from the term people of color and the term minority. Because it's not just racist white people that despise the black community. There's people of color who is racist towards the black people. We all remember this? These were Arabs. See that? Those were Arab men. Arabs. You know, another group that white supremacy hates. But yet, Arabs are focusing on attacking black people more than racist white people. They run all the gas stations in some of these neighborhoods and mini marts in some of these neighborhoods. And yet they attack black people, accuse us of stealing. You had the Asian guy, let's see, what's this? You had this coward right there attacking black women in a nail shop. You have guys like him, these Asian, racist Asians who hate black people attacking black women in nail shops and hair supply stores. That's why black people should start forming their own nail shops or shop at black-owned nail shops and hair supply stores. Or any other ones that are not racist towards black people. See, it ain't just white racism that black people have to deal with. It's not just racism from white people that we have to deal with. There's racism from other racial groups and other ethnicity groups that can't stand us. You have black people from other parts of the diaspora who can't stand black Americans. Like the woman who created this show that's currently on CBS that a lot of people are trying to get canceled. Nigerians hating on black Americans, ADOS. You even have some Dominicans attacking other black people. They're attacking Haitians because of their dark skin, and they hate and despise black Americans as well. Yeah, you have other black Caribbeans who don't like black Americans. So yeah, you even have black Americans who hate other black Americans. So you even have black people who hate other black people. And that's a problem. And that's why a lot of black people who do respect the entire black diaspora, who do fight for the black community, are saying that we should stop using the term people of color and just stick with the term black, or even better, if you're a black American, stick with the term ADOS. But this is what's happening. This is what the society is going on. We have no friends. Black people, especially black Americans, have no friends. Now, I mean, there are black Caribbeans and black immigrants who will fight with us. But there's even some of them who have Sambos and Coots. Just like there's black Americans who will not fight with other black Americans. Sambos, Coots, sellouts, and trailers. The point is, black people in general do not have friends with anyone in other groups. Yeah, you'll have maybe a small sector who are 100% not racist, who are good people, but we can't wait and determine which ones are the good ones and which ones are the bad ones. And the biggest microphone in those communities are the ones who hate black people. So yes, once again, this is why a lot of black people are stepping away from the term and no longer wanting to be identified as person of color or people of color. They want to be identified as black, or at least ADOS if they're a black American who happens to be a descendant of slaves. They're not identifying as minority no more, because now all of a sudden white women can be minorities, but they are part of the majority group, which is white people. Same way with the white LGBT. They want to say LGBT are minorities, but some of the LGBT, and this is not a dig against the LGBT community. I'm not hating on white women or LGBT, but how can they be minority when they're part of the majority group, which is white people, that's supposed to be the so-called majority of this country? As I remember, when we go in this country, it's a race war. In this country, when they talk about who's the majority group or who's the minority group, they go by racial group. They go by skin color. In a race war, they go by skin color. Not ethnic, not orientation, not gender, skin color. What race you identify. Black people do not have friends with people from other communities. And it is now time for black people to stop fighting each other and start working together for the interest of the black community. Build black businesses, build stronger black organizations that will fight for the black community. Just do anything to help benefit the black community. Do what is best for the black community. What's best for the black community. Let's not worry about continue to fight these other communities' battles when those other communities have no respect for black people. Let them fight their own battles. Let's see what happens when we don't help those other communities no more and focus on helping the black community. No longer should we continue being bunched up together with this freaking retarded saying such as people of color. That is just retarded. People of color is not benefiting black people. The term minority is not benefiting black people. The term diversity, the term equality is not benefiting black people. It's time to back away from all that and start focusing on what's going to actually benefit black people in this country or in this entire world. I know this is this probably have to be my longest video, but this stuff needed to be said. Now I want to know what y'all think in the comment section, in the description box. I mean, well, at least in the comment section. Some of this stuff I'll leave in the description box and comment section, description box and comment section. Some of these articles and stuff for y'all to read on your own. Make sure you like and share this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit that notification bell. And this is wherever you are watching this video. Black YouTube, Black Junction, Black Shares, or any other social media platform that I may upload this video on. Whenever I do upload the video on certain platforms. Also, check every once in a while if you're not getting notifications. To check every once in a while to see if I made a new video or not. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll also make sure I'll also leave links to make sure that you could check me out on the different accounts that you could follow me on. But that's all I have to say for now. This is J-Dog. Thank you for listening to this important video, and I hope to catch y'all in another video. Peace, everyone.